Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, let me get the music started. When we last left off, the party officially reached the Underdark of the Ergos Republic, the former Geogran territory that has since been bought by the Thieves Guild and controlled by the secular, religiously minded Dark Elves at its head. Journeying through the Underdark, the party found what appears to be the ruins of a Dark Elven church to Arachne that has since been damaged by excessive rock slides and other vandalisms, including a strange band of aquatic creatures known as the Deep Ones that have taken up residence in the ruins of the church, sitting on a hoard of treasure left by their mysterious boss, a ebony black tengu in a mask. Who, while they are more terrified of their boss than they are of the party managed to cajole the Deep Ones into leading them deeper into the tunnels, where, after the ceiling began to glow with the light of strange rock-like barnacle creatures adorning the ceiling of this cavern, the Deep Ones suddenly left in a panic, and the party finds themselves now face to face with the massive obsidian serpent, a six-headed hydra, slithers into view before you all. And as this coiling, writhing mass takes shape, and you all pretty much ready yourselves, as you had already been preemptively in combat ready mode as soon as the Deep Ones began to lead you onward, I think, without any further ado, I would like everyone to please roll for initiative.
Oh boy, here we go.
And last week I took a note. I took a note from last week that I wanted to do a history check to see if Lucien knows what this is. May I do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone just keep your initiative rolls ready, and we'll do the 25 to 20, 20 to 15 deal that we usually
Matthew, do you see that?
do. Let me check.
Matthew, do you see that on D&D Beyond?
I don't have the here. Let me. If you guys are gonna roll there, I'll pull up the D&D Beyond campaign.
It's just.
Oh shit!
I also rolled a natural one.
I mean,
no.
It technically becomes a 4.
What's
if I
your
have my
modifier?
plus initiative, yeah.
plus 3.
Yeah, it's plus 3.
Oh, it's gonna be rough.
Okay, so
And
yeah.
it also has plus 3.
So I guess with that, I rolled a 2, but mine's a plus 4, so it's 6.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'll go down the usual roster. And first of all, Lucien, what'd you roll for your history check?
Okay, so that would be a natural 17 plus 7. So math.
24.
Yeah.
So
You know it's better than 24?
25.
25.
I don't get that.
All right.
Okay.
So, Lucien, you are familiar with hydras. They are not common to Yav. However, they are not completely unheard of either. Typically, they are imports, usually in the form of exotic pets for royalty that then escape into the wild and breed. You would know that hydras can, as you're seeing before you right now, spawn a great number of heads, and that the only true way to permanently kill a hydra is usually in the form of chopping the central largest head off and setting it aflame, as flaming wounds do not allow hydras to regenerate. However, you would also know that hydras do not typically live underground, as they typically prefer swamps, as hydras are most comfortable in very poisonous, acrid environments. So for a hydra to be living underground, where the air is stagnant but usually relatively fresh, is a bit odd. With that, initiative 25 to 20.
Jeremy got a let me check this again. 22.
All right. 20 to 15.
I got a 16.
19.
All right. 16, 19. 15 to 10. All right. All that's left is Zephyr, Kara, and Caleb. Caleb and Kara, I believe, both have 4s, so you will go together.
Yeah.
And Zephyr will go before them. And I believe that is, yep, that's all of you covered. So.
Have to kill us all.
With that, Jer, I know you're on the road, so we'll keep talking to a minimum. It is Gil's turn first, so Amanda, the floor is yours for Gil for the moment. What would you like Gil to do?
Oh, I was gonna say I can talk a little bit.
I got you, baby. You just focus on driving. I want you to come home safe.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I didn't expect you to be here at all. Like, just like, you're gonna run up and punch the thing with your plasma gauntlets. It's not. Yeah. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
It's not rocket science. The first thing I will do is bonus action rage.
all right, Gil rages.
He is breaking up
I think
something
he's trying to say
terrible.
rage. I think he's talking about rage.
Yeah, this is why Amanda is doing.
I think
the rolls.
he's trying to say that he's raging.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think he's
yeah.
trying to say that he wants to rage. So bonus action rage.
Yep. All right.
Let's see. And then, I'm gonna try to. Do I punch it or? I'm looking at these gauntlets of his because I know he wanted to use it.
Gauntlets are a finesse weapon, so it will essentially count as a dexterity or strength attack that you are proficient in. So
I would say roll your daggers or longbows.
yeah. Essentially, yeah. You can treat it as if it was a dagger attack, and then it'll be 3d6 lightning damage.
Not the damage.
Okay.
Or are they not
That's not
items
gonna
on
hit.
his
That's
character sheet?
Well, it's
They
not
are,
like-
but I couldn't configure them to have all of their abilities at once, so I just settled for the one that was like easiest to track, and then just have it noted on the item's stats that it's a finesse weapon and it does this much damage. But yeah, so yeah, go ahead and have him roll to hit.
But that's not gonna hit. It's a natural 4.
All right. So Gil charges
12.
at the Hydra, slowly enveloping himself in Ichor as he typically does when he rages. But as he swings his glowing plasma gauntlets at the beast, the massive serpent coils back still in its striking pose, and the many heads kind of recoil around the
Is it
barbarian.
a serpent?
Yeah, Hydras are actually typically serpentine. I just, that wasn't exactly a model I had at my disposal for.
No, I always thought they were just really big. I was basically imagining King Ghidorah.
Yeah. No, they're literally just snakes with a shit ton of heads. Little known mythology fact. Gil does have another attack if you want to try again.
Keep punching.
Yeah, I will try again. I'm gonna try to punch it again. What is that number? Okay, that is +5.
Just
17.
Channel River.
+5.
Yeah, because he has it's
Right.
+8 total. Yeah.
Yeah, they have proficiency.
Oh,
She needs, to play Gil, she just needs to channel River.
I mean, yeah, basically.
so
punch.
19. So
right.
19, I guess.
Yep, a 19 will hit.
Does that hit?
Now, yep. So
Let me
yeah,
get my D6.
Yep, 3d6. However, real quick, before you roll the damage dice, do me a solid to just roll me just a straight d6 and tell me what you roll.
Wait.
A D6, also known as a Dix.
4.
All right, noted. Now go ahead and you can go ahead and roll damage.
Well, everybody in roll 20 knows what Caleb's going to be doing.
13.
Okay. Noted. Asgil, still raging in his Ichor beast form, takes another mighty swing at the recoiling heads surrounding him and manages to give a really solid slash across the face of one of the serpentine heads as it reels
It's a
back with
gauntlet.
well, yeah,
Wouldn't
it's
it be
gauntlet,
bludgeoning?
well, no, but it's like plasma claws on the fingers of the gauntlet.
Okay.
And the snake's cauterized, bleeding wounds as it reels back with a. He's action, bonus action, so that should be the end of Gil's turn. So, Neon, you're up.
Oh, darn tootin' I am. I'm going to.
You're darn tootin' I am.
Here, let me take a look at it. Let's look at where the body is right now.
Okay, now.
So real quick, just so we're clear, each one of those squares is 5 feet. Yes.
Yeah. This is to scale.
Okay.
Your icon is scaled up to account for Morrigan.
Okay. So I would like to fire my grenade launcher, basically behind the hydra, so
All
that
right.
it is caught in that 20 feet, but a certain barbarian is not.
Okay.
A certain barbarian elf.
Yeah.
That is a dex save on the
It's
Hydra.
fine. I can feel him.
Yes, it's a dex save on his part.
Okay, and
Did
before
Lucian just advocate for team damage?
quite possible. The
Neon's
cleric in my
Neon's
Friday
like,
game
I'm
does
not
that a lot.
surprised.
Does team damage a lot, so it wouldn't be unusual. And Neon, before I tell you the save and you roll damage, do me a favor and roll me a d6.
It does.
I will do that.
Yes,
Here,
yeah.
let me get that.
This is
Guessing
I
something
got a
happens
6.
if you hit it.
I got a 6, Matt.
Noted. All right, go and roll damage. It
Right,
does succeed the
Neon.
save, so 5d6 halved.
5d6 halved. All right.
Yeah,
Here,
that's
instead of
your-
rolling that,
Mm.
If a rogue did an attack that's like that, could they add their sneak attack to it?
You mean like attack like that?
Yes, as long as the circumstances of sneak attack apply.
Yeah, it needs to be
I'll-
a finesse weapon and someone needs to be close to it, or you have advantage.
Actually, yeah. Let me double check real quick because I think.
No, I mean, because, I'm talking about, those attacks of they roll, do you add sneak attack to whenever
Oh,
they
yeah.
roll a save?
No. It only. You have to hit with an attack. So basically, like.
What
if you
attack
roll-
did y'all think I was talking about?
No. That's actually why I was pausing because I was considering the question because initially, my thought process was oh yeah, a grenade launcher would apply. Basically my reflexive answer was yes, but then I was oh wait, no, it's a save. So yeah, I think it would. And I was pulling up your character sheet to check, and yeah, that's correct.
The grenade launcher have finesse though?
Well, it doesn't matter because it's a saving throw, not an attack roll.
Well, no, it doesn't need to be. It needs to be a finesse weapon, right? As well.
Well, because it says if you hit with an attack with a finesse or ranged weapon, and one of the
Oh, yeah,
circumstances of the
exactly.
attack apply. I guess it would depend on the DM because the wording is a little vague. I'd be willing to be a little flexible if Caleb ever comes across explosives. But if we're going by sheer rules as written, I think it
I
would.
mean, technically, Caleb has explosives in the form of gunpowder.
I guess that's fair. I think if it's a saving throw, it probably wouldn't count just because you're more shooting in their general. It's not like you're ambushing them; you're just shooting something in their general vicinity. Anyways, I apologize. Neon, what was your damage?
It's going to take 13 damage.
Is that with the half?
Yes, that's with the half.
Okay, thank you. Just checking.
If you did an AoE, then it would become the question is, does everyone in that circle get sneak attack?
Yeah. All right. So, is that the end of your turn, Neon?
Yeah, I believe that's all I can do at the moment.
Okay, and I will say as a side note before I get to the next turn, I'm doing this with my Friday group, but I'm going to mention it here just so that you guys know. If you guys have a specific like visual in your mind of how you want the attack to look, say that while you're making the roll, like as you're like doing the attack. If you don't, then I'm going to assume you don't have a preference and flavor it myself, and I don't want to like accidentally override anyone. So basically, just while you're attacking, describe what you're doing if you have a preference. If not, then just roll and I'll take care of it. That being said, you all see Morgan like take that like heightened stance that they had taken in the frozen caverns, and one of the new weapons the Mother and Neon worked together on loads into place and fires this through a tube, this little ball-like weapon that lands a bit over the Hydra's head, and a few of the heads actually kind of watch it travel over its head before... and the cavern shakes and like dust and bits of broken glass from the stained glass rain from the walls as the Hydra reels and hisses from the attack. Lucian,
That
you're
can't
up.
be good for the ceiling that's already collapsing in places.
Yeah, it has barnacles feeding on it. Lucian, you're up. Zephyr on deck.
What is the hydra roll?
So let's see. Let's see. What can I do? Okay. So this is. Okay. So I'm going to have to move. So let me move my character. Let's see how far can I move. I can move 30 feet, right?
She's moving speed is.
Is that what the
Well,
character?
technically, wouldn't she have to
So
go
that is
5
also
feet
good.
and then...
What do you mean? Technically, you can go sideways. Here, that would technically count.
Yeah. Okay. So I will move my entire movement, and then how far away do I have to be for this? It says I have to be 15 feet, so I'm just 5 short. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. So on my next turn, when I move, I can get these guys on there. I am going to go ahead and call forth my spirit guardians.
I think.
So you see from the shadows, other types of snakes and scorpions and spiders, and you just see all of these shadow creatures come forth from the shadows and kind of surround
From the shadow realm.
Lucian as she looks. Yeah, kind of.
She's gonna banish that Hydra to the shadow
stands there,
realm.
and let's see what. I'm going to certainly try. I don't think I have any bonus actions that I can do. No, I don't. I'm looking. Trust me.
One.
I can't do that. I already did that. I have one, but I already cast a spell,
Oh yeah, sure.
so I can't really do it again. So I will end my turn. Well, I didn't really think I had anything else that I
No,
can
I was
do.
talking about the other spell. I was thinking the other. I was like, but I realized, oh yeah, the whole spell requirement has to be a cantrip. Yeah. Also, what you can do,
Yeah.
if you click on your character and go to cogwheel, you can make like an aura, 15 feet.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
I told you, click on your character, click the cogwheel.
Okay, yeah. No.
scroll
I
down,
see it.
change the color if you want.
Yeah.
What are we
cool,
doing?
Cool, yeah.
I was just telling her a little
Okay.
function that there's a function where you can give yourself an aura sort of deal, like It's a 15-foot on her. The count.
Okay, it's gonna have to be a different color than gray. Let's see. Let's do green. Her favorite color. Okay. That's cool. I didn't know I can do that. That's really cool. And they won't attack any friendlies.
What?
Did
Oh,
we lose
yeah, you could
Matthew?
desiccate.
I guess
said
that
that
depends
they
on how
won't
Lucian
attack any
defines
friendly.
friendly.
All right. Awesome.
Well, Zephyr is just out of the radius. No, just kidding.
All right, so Lucian, as you charge and elbow past the rest of the party, slide under Morrigan's legs and start casting your spell. Neon and Caro, you see these verminous, shadowy, wispy creatures surround all of you in a radius around Lucian. They don't seem hostile to you, and in fact are all turning their attention greedily to the ebony hydra.
I mean, they've seen this before, Matthew.
Well, yeah, but it's for flavor.
Every time he describes it, it's like the first time it's ever been seen before.
I can just not narrate if you prefer. Lucian, go ahead and roll me a d6 for me.
Okay. Okay. A 4.
Noted. Okay. All right. Zephyr, you're up. Caleb and Caro shared turn on deck.
Now I'm curious because he hasn't gone.
Who hasn't gone?
The Hydra.
The Hydra's not gone yet.
What is the Hydra rolled?
It will go after Caleb and Caro. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I was like, this.
Did it roll a 1?
It could be some special feature it has, or it could be fake.
All right, Zephyr, what do you want to do?
So, I don't know about this, so I'm going to a bonus action dodge as I, go about, like, I guess, like, roughly in front of the group, and then I would like to just come over here and, walls. I would say from the creature 20.
All right, Zephyr,
It's
you.
like the story of this guy who was playing D&D, and he made like a what's that like anime cat people called again?
Oh, Tabaxi. Like anime cat people. I don't think they have a Neko. I think they call them Nekos.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah,
that character was basically one of those, but a ninja. And
Oh,
so
yeah, I know
every,
the story. Yeah.
and so every time they had even the slightest excuse, they would attempt to climb the walls.
Yeah, Zephyr's just a ninja. And speaking of which, Zephyr, you all see Zephyr run at the wall and start Spider-Manning up it. Or, well, Spider-Manning in quotes. He's more just running up it as if it was a horizontal surface. And Zephyr, as you reach the peak of your climb, what would you like to do, if anything?
Well, Spider-Man can do that.
Oh, yeah, but, most people think of Spider-Man as, like, going on all fours, so.
But I would, like to just shoot it.
All right, roll me a d6.
Okay. Hoping to hope for a 1. Got 2.
All right, noted. Go ahead and roll your attack.
All right. My first roll, 10, 17. Second roll, 19, so 26.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
All right. And then piercing. So 7 damage with the bow, but then sneak attack. 15, so 22.
All right. Yep. All right. All right. You, as you run up the wall, kind of strafing in this really awkward angle, but at this point you've slowly started adjusting to it. You turn, and as you're running up the wall, fire your crossbow at the serpentine creature, managing to strike it directly in one of its many necks, which reels back and coils. And hisses violently and swivels, seeming deeply unhappy about its current situation. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Nope. Yeah, that's all I can do.
All right. Caleb, you're up. Although, Caro, you share a turn, so if one of you prefers to go first, that's totally fine.
Caleb's going to get into this position because it gives him a line of sight, as you can see. Though I imagine if he rolls in that one, Lucian's going to be in a bad spot.
Through the shoulder.
And he's going to try to use the musket.
All right. Bringing your musket to bear, you take aim and pull the trigger.
I'm sorry, Lucian. I rolled in that one.
Caleb, as you take aim and the trigger pulls, the flint strikes the pan, and absolutely nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Is that going to require a reload?
Yes. Your powder was soaked from your earlier swim, and you misfired. So, I will say it's not going to require repair like it normally would, but you are going to have to reload it to actually be able to fire it again. All right, Caro, you're up.
I don't know if I trust D&D Beyond.
Yeah. A lot of people I play with have kind of weird luck with D&D Beyond. That's why I prefer physical dice if I can run it. All right, so
Well, the
Caro.
problem is my physical dice don't roll on the surface that my table is made of.
Yeah, Austin has like a bunch of dice trays. Like I'm sure he can loan you one. Yeah, so Caro and Garo, what would you like to do?
Well, I'll try to shoot him.
Alright.
Shoot at him.
Roll.
That was like fun.
No, 13.
Roll me a d6.
Oh wait, no, I lost my d6. Well, I'm gonna have to steal from my other dice. Give me
I'm
the
interested.
d6.
I'm even more interested. I noticed that Caleb did.
Well, bear in mind, I knew
It
going
might
into
work
that.
enough. It might roll enough to make do.
I got a 5.
All right, noted. Remember that you have 2 attacks. You take aim and kind of carefully aiming over Lucian's shoulder and between Morrigan's legs. You pull the trigger, but as the bolt sails, the serpent's heads are all writhing and slithering about, and the bolt sails between their necks, and they kind of turn to watch it fly by before turning their attention to you in the distance. But remember, you have 2 attacks, so.
Okay, I'll try
Also,
to shoot it
does that mean
again.
Caleb's next turn is forfeit because he's going to have to reload?
Well, if you want to use the musket, but and you'll still have a bonus action. It'll be your action to
I
reload.
got an even lower roll this time.
All right. Caro, you quickly reload and fire again, but the bolts are just sailing off wildly. It's dark in here, like you can pretty much only see by the light of Gil's flickering tattoos. So it's hard for you to line up a good shot, especially with the hydra blending into the backgrounds behind it. And you kind of scowl and go to quickly, impatiently reload another time. So I believe that's the end of your turn, unless you have a bonus action. But
Doesn't he have his lights on? So it's...
yeah. Like I'm more just flavoring the misses. Like technically speaking, the Hydra is in light. Just again for fun,
Yeah.
for narrative.
So, Garo will, let me see what all Garo can do. Actually, I forget sometimes.
Something about this hydra. Oh well.
Oh,
It's fine. We're gonna kick its ass like we do everything.
As it has not moved yet. I was like,
It obviously rolled like shit. I mean, it is a monster. It probably doesn't have a great initiative modifier.
whatever its dex is.
Garo not do anything, which means he's gonna take the dodge action
All right,
for
noted.
now.
Matthew,
What's up?
how would you handle the tie between a monster and a player in the
Monster always
initiative
takes
roll?
priority. Because the monster is already working at a disadvantage because the heroes are going to win 90% of the fights, so I figure it's only fair that the monster gets at least a chance to swing at you first. That being said, it's the Hydra's turn to swing. You all watch as the writhing mass of almost tentacle-like heads begins to expand and stretch. You can almost see the scales and flesh of its underbelly like struggling and stretching, and like visible marks forming on its neck as the necks stretch themselves out longer and longer and longer. Zephyr, you see one of their heads flick towards you, and this hideous looking breath like rockets towards you with the speed of lightning and strikes you from your position on the wall. You take 13 lightning damage and 6 necrotic damage. As that head is busy breathing its fumous breath at you, Caro, one of the necks, the larger one in the center, stretching out so long you swear its neck could, or the top of its head could almost brush the ceiling. It like almost falls towards you like a tree being felled and bites into you. Caro, you take 13 piercing damage.
I don't want to attacks that get free hit by it.
I promise I'll explain after the session. I mean, if you guys don't figure it out by the time the fight ends.
Oh yeah, there
And
we go. Adjust.
Neon, sitting within Morrigan, you see 2 more of the heads rocketing towards you, and Morrigan takes 7 piercing damage and 15 just pure damage.
All right.
So any resistances don't apply.
All right, that's not too bad.
As the heads all like settle back into place and watch you all like again back in that like coiling ready to strike position, as you can see the heads have taken some hits. They're not looking excellent overall. Okay. They are busy at the moment, so Austin, want to roll for Gil real quick? The 2 of them are busy at the moment, so can you roll for Gil?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean I can roll for him if need be. Just I usually prefer to have the players do it if at all possible.
Yeah. Let's see. Or maybe I roll, but the plus 8. Oof, that's good. 14.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. 2.
Yeah, that is a miss. Yeah, miss. But he has 2 attacks.
Yeah. Rolling again. Even worse. I won. So 13.
All right. And yeah, Gil. Do you see any bonus actions? There's like a special menu for bonus actions.
I
If you
know.
want. Yeah.
You'll
Besides,
miss both attacks.
he had me roll for it, which was.
I don't know if I trust any dice trays he's gonna give me.
I didn't use dice tray. I used
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe there is no bad dice, just bad surfaces to roll them on. Yeah, so no bonus action for Gil?
The only bonus action I could see that he's in would be Misty Step, so doing that.
Okay. Alright, and I will say for all of you, kind of towards the back of the fight, like all of you like taking your long distance attacks at this Hydra, you watch as Gil swings. Gil didn't get hit. The Hydra made no attack at him, but Gil's swings are getting weak, and you see Gil's breathing very heavily, almost like he's struggling and gasping for air as he swings very weakly at the Hydra's heads. That being said, that's the end of their turn. Neon, you're up. And Lucian will be on deck. If they're not back, then I'll take care of Lucian, since spellcasters are complicated and I don't want to make someone else deal with that.
I'm going to use my flamethrower and spit a neat stream of flame straight into him.
Can you do that without hitting your allies?
I believe so.
Well, you should be tall enough to shoot over Lucian.
Here. So, Okay, fine then.
Right.
Fine, if you're gonna be a dick about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, mechanics of the flamethrower.
God, Matthew.
He should be able to shoot over Lucian. He's like real
Nah,
tall.
it's fine. Don't worry about it. Then in that case, I will step forward
Easy enough
5
to do.
feet.
Yeah.
And will then, I don't know if I have to repeat myself.
Yeah,
but,
all right.
So,
Roll me a d6.
D6. That's a 2 that time, and 17 plus. Forget if I have any pluses. Oh, plus my first. So dirty 20.
Okay.
Would you say that Leon would be blocking this shot?
I'll say not enough that it would significantly. Well, remember that like on your next turn, if you're going to use the musket, you'd have to reload anyway.
I know, but like I'm considering if I'm going to have to move. During that.
I'll
Just
say
go under me.
Yeah. Like, I'll say that like Neon wouldn't be, because the flamethrower is like an area, an AOE thing. But like the musket's like a precision weapon more or less. So yeah, I'll say you could like hit the monster even with Neon there without issue. That being said, Neon, roll me a d6 if you don't mind.
Yep. Another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another
3 that
one.
time.
And go on.
I'm gonna need that boy to make a dex save.
And D&D, what'd you roll for your d6?
D6 3.
Got it. Just checking. That's what I thought you said. Okay. And it. Let me actually double check. Does it fail?
Well, what did it roll?
It. What's the DC? Sorry.
12.
It succeeds the save.
All right. Then he's going. Then he's going to take 2d8 damage, and he just won't be lit on fire.
All right. Go ahead and roll damage.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes.
If he misses, it just
13.
Okay. Noted. Got it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
All right. Is that going to be the end of your turn, Neon?
Yes, that'll be the it.
All right. You
Imagine
all
if
watch
the
it
two characters play D&D.
as Morrigan takes these massive quadrupedal steps over Lucian's head, like this almost like massive sauropodal design. And once Lucian is safely out of the line of fire, brings their flamethrower to bear and with a relatively precise for its size blast of fire to avoid hitting Gil, the Hydra is lit aflame and begins writhing and hissing and screeching. It is still standing, but it's the damage is whittling it down. It's definitely taking hits. Lucian's up, but I believe they're still busy, so let's see what Lucian's going to do. They had said before that they were planning to just get the Hydra in the line of fire for this attack. So I will have them step up here, just barely enough to... Oh, well, yeah, they'll have to move past Neon. There we go. All right. And the...
Dash usually adds, like, your movement speed to your movement speed, right?
What?
Yeah. Like, basically, what your existing movement speed plus, like, whatever normal speed you have. That's a 5 on a d6 for Lucian. Noted. And Hydra's gonna make a dex save.
Because we're on an upper level, right?
Yeah. The black line indicates a drop to the lower level, which appears to be about a 15-foot
Is
down.
there some kind of feature that separates it, like a rail or like a lip?
No, it's just a sheer, like, underground cliff face. But the drop isn't super steep. You estimate even if you fell badly, like, it wouldn't hurt. At most, you might, like, sprain your ankle.
Well, now everybody knows what Caleb's going to do.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. You go before the monster, so it's not like I can counter it. And the monster, our little monstery friend, is going to take damage from those necrotic little boys. So that's 3d8.
And because he can dash as a bonus action, he can dash and then attack, right?
Yeah. As long as your bonus action is to dash, then yeah, you'll still have your action, which means you can attack. Yes. All right.
50 feet and attack.
You all watch as Lucian steps forward, and as long as they maintain concentration, that should go automatically. So what else does Lucian want to do? Zephyr, you're on deck, so just go ahead and figure out what you want to do while I'm figuring this out. I don't want to waste any spell slots on their behalf, so I'll say Toll the Dead.
Also, doesn't the Hydra get affected by her area?
Yeah. I already calculated that. This is just what their like actual action is.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yep, that's a wisdom save. They succeed the save. Do they take damage still?
Oh my god, can this Hydra fail a save?
I mean, you're damaging it. Alright. You all watch as Lucian steps forward, keeping their focus on their spirit guardians. The shadowy creatures begin to bite and tear at the Hydra as it looks down in confusion and screeches in upsetness and just general annoyance.
I didn't know there was a language called upsetness.
Yeah, it's one of my primary ones. I took a class for it in college.
What college?
Yeah, college.
Yeah, what college?
College. And Lucian raises their hand and casts Toll the Dead. This horrible, spine-tingling echoing through the cavern again, causing like rubble and glass to rain from the walls. The Hydra does not seem affected by the sound of the bell, though it does look around in shock. It does definitely seem like it's not feeling the little shadow creatures nibbling on its bits.
Gross.
Neon, before Zephyr's turn comes, I will mention, because I forgot to mention this on your turn. Sitting in Morrigan as the flames die down, you kind of look down at your flamethrower and notice that the spark is kind of struggling. Like it's not like quite taking hold. Like the fire shoots out, but like it seems like it's really struggling, and you feel yourself kind of light on breath. Your chest kind of feels tight. Zephyr, you're up with Caleb and Karo share turn on deck, and Zephyr kind of on the wall. You feel your vision kind of going hazy, and you're kind of struggling to keep your footing on the wall.
Plan, because he's going to Things almost killed him.
We'll almost down them.
Possibly killed him, especially if I'm in the air.
If he falls 20 feet after going down, would he lose a death save?
Yeah, he would take damage, so he'd lose a death save, but only once, since it's technically a collective damage roll. But yeah, he would automatically fail a death save.
Maybe then I would go higher. I was actually gonna go 60 feet in the air, but if I'm gonna concentrate, I'm not gonna. So he.
Yeah, you kind of look up at the height of the ceiling, and you can feel like your vision going hazy, and like, yeah, probably not a good idea to get super high up when you're on the verge of passing out.
That plan. Yes, I will come down, use the 20 feet, and I guess I will shoot at it first.
All right, roll to attack, and obviously you know the drill at this point. Roll me a d6.
Well, first roll a natural 20.
Okay.
So that's going to be double damage, and he's going to get sneak attack, right?
Yep, which will also double because Gil's fighting it. So
it's
yep.
double. Is it double damage or double the dice? Right?
Yeah, double the dice and then add any modifiers. But your sneak attack counts because it's a dice roll. So
yeah, that's why. I guess D&D Beyond
Like,
automatically rolls
The
it.
dice, you don't just double the result.
No, yeah, like basically, yeah. Like, I say double the dice to mean double what's on the dice. Every DM rule. Yeah, Austin. You had the exact same realization last session too. Yeah, no. For clarification, for those who aren't already clear, in my DMing circle, when you roll a crit, you roll your dice. Let's say he rolls a d6 and rolls a 6. That doubles into a 12, and then you add any relevant modifiers.
All right.
Okay, so you double the roll of the dice, then add modifiers.
Yeah, modifiers do not count towards the crit, but they will still add on.
I rolled a 7, so that would be 14 plus 4, so 18.
Is that with the sneak attack?
No, that was just my normal roll.
All right.
Now sneak attack.
So 18, 14 plus 4.
18 times 2, so 32 right there, plus the other 18, so 50?
18 plus 32, yes.
Yeah.
All right, and roll me a d6.
He just hit that bitch for 50.
Yeah, sneak attack, man. 2.
Noted.
Alright,
Okay.
but it does not end my turn. I'm going to use the remaining...
Zephyr put an arrow through all of its heads. Like, he just finds the perfect timing to hit every single head at
use the
once.
remaining 15 feet to get back, and then I'm going to bonus action dash, as I would like to kind of possibly... I would like to come down here and... I guess no, I'll go down the stairs.
Yeah, I don't want to risk taking damage. All right, noted.
So 15,
How much health is Zephyr on?
19. So he's technically bloody.
Yeah, so you all watch as Zephyr like hazing and like kind of phasing in and out of consciousness, starts stumbling towards the stairs and heading down them to try and get down to the lower levels. Is that the end of your turn, Zephyr?
Now I'm gonna come down. I want to be far away, but still within my sight.
Okay.
Okay. He'll stay right here for now. 40 feet from
Okay.
me.
All right, so Zephyr kind of looking up and seeing that even if you could make the climb in your current state, you don't want to risk passing out high up and falling. So you turn, fire another crossbow bolt at the Hydra, coincidentally as it's lining up another charged breath attack at you, and the bolt flies down its throat and it like swerves and spits and coughs and hacks, like unable to get the new clog you've introduced into its throat chasm as you like quickly stumble vertically down the wall and past Lucian, past Neon, past your brother, past Caro and their tiger, as you start making your way down the stairs, stumbling and your chest tightening the whole way. As you come to a rest and look back at the massive serpentine beast, which their necks only appear to be getting longer the longer you guys fight it. Caleb, as you look down and see the wet powder.
Wait, you just hit it for 50 and you said it was bloodied already after those, like, light hit.
I said it was looking hurt. If I did say bloodied, that was my mistake. But I will say it is bloodied at this point. But yes, it is still up after the 50 damage. And Caleb, as you look down at your waterlogged powder pan, you feel that same kind of haze to your vision and your chest kind of tightening, and you're kind of like having to take deep breaths.
Caleb didn't have to roll a d6.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
It could be an area thing. I think the D6 might be like targeting their heads. Like, which head do we hit? Assuming. But
I'll say for clarification on Caleb's thing, I was going to mention this before, but like the turns were already moving on. I didn't have Caleb roll a d6 because you said you were going to use the musket, and I knew that your pan was waterlogged, so you couldn't have hit no matter what. But yeah, so that being said, Caleb and Kara, you're both up. It doesn't matter who.
Alright, Caleb is going to draw his short sword and his dagger +1, and he's going to. I see that. He's going to probably going to have to use bonus action dash. That's 15 feet. And then he's going to try to use the edge to get behind it.
Or you can or you can have gone like this way as well. The same thing, but I mean it's the same thing. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's sick as hell. I'll allow it.
Yeah, the edge.
And yeah, you're technically still on the surface. Yeah, that's totally fine. And Caleb, as you run past it, I presume throwing your musket to sling over your shoulder. As you turn behind and you can see some of the heads swivel to look at you. What would you like to do?
And now he's going to attack it with his short sword first.
All right.
You have advantage. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you're flanking, so you have advantage.
Okay, that's going to be a dirty 20.
That is, of course, a hit. Roll me a d6 and then roll damage.
Roll a d6. 2.
All right, noted.
And then he's going to roll the damage, which is going to be 1d6 plus 3 plus 3d6 because of sneak attack.
All right, roll.
All right. Hang on, let me get my calculator out. That's going to be 8 damage to start. And then the 3d6, which... plus 4 plus 6 plus 2. That is going to be 20 damage in total.
All right, nice.
Oh wait, but then he can use 2 weapon fighting.
Indeed, you can.
To attack with his dagger. Can you apply? I think you can only apply sneak attack once per turn, right?
Yeah, you can only sneak attack once per turn, but you can still do a little bit of extra damage with this. So by all means.
So let me roll that hit.
So sneak attack isn't like overpowered for fighters.
Yeah.
Do I still add the plus? Does it still get +7 to hit? I can't remember.
You hit bonus, it just doesn't get a damage buff.
Okay. Gonna have to do a little math. I'll be 16.
That is a hit. Roll.
And then that's going to be a extra D4. I think it still applies the +1 because it's a dagger +1, right?
Yeah. +1 always applies. Just no like stat modifier, basically.
So that'll be an extra 3 damage.
All right, noted.
So a total of 23 damage.
Okay. So Caleb, as you parkour to flank the Hydra, as its heads bear down on you, you slash, and then you see one of the heads is currently occupied with Gil at the moment, kind of surveying him, debating if he wants to strike. And seeing the head distracted, you plunge your dagger into the tail of the snake, and the head's all reel and it's still hanging on, but barely.
Okay, we just gotta hit it a little bit more and it's dead.
Caro, you're up.
As long as I can live to the next hit.
Oop, okay.
Yeah, but if we kill it, I think like in D&D, if you win the fight, then all people who are down automatically stabilize.
I'm the DM.
Yeah,
Lucian will probably kill people.
For a second, it sounded like kill people.
Yeah, like, generally I rule it more or less like that. Like, I judge how close to death they are, but since usually the first thing everyone does is heal up, then it usually doesn't matter anyway. So it's contextual, basically. But yeah, so Kara, what would you like to do? And then it'll be the Hydra's turn.
Would this be considered an animal?
Oh, God.
Give me a nature check.
Are you going to try to make friends with it?
Animal friendship.
Animal friendship. 17.
Hydras are not necessarily naturally occurring. You would know that they were originally a magical creation of the gods, but it does technically have a place in the natural world. So insofar as a magical creature can be an animal, it is an animal.
I want to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh my God. You see, this is the kind of things that, like, characters like Carol will do that could kill everybody.
Alright, so Caro, you cast Speak with Animal to gain the ability to speak with it.
Yes.
Because they're not attacking this time, when they could have just killed it.
I mean, you know.
Maybe Caro can end it automatically.
I'm gonna look to it and just...
You get a Hydra.
Excuse me, Mr. Hydra.
One of the heads kind of jerks up to you, like as they're all slithering into position to strike once more.
So that's Mrs. Hydra to you.
Did you just assume my gender? That's what the Hydra be like.
Maybe all the heads have a different one. You don't know.
Maybe we've misunderstood you. We met some
I'm going
people
to give you
down
a
here
chance
who
to
were very
live.
afraid of you. But Hydra, we don't have to fight.
And die.
Make me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Hydra hate.
Oh, shitpost status.
Oh, wait a second. I could have done something. Help my situation.
Nice. I got an 18 on both rolls.
I forgot that.
And remind me, does Speak with Animals let you understand the animal, or just commune what you're trying to get across to them?
It lets you communicate with them, so you can talk to them.
It's just so like they can talk back to you and you'll understand.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I can talk to me.
Just wanted to clarify. You see the head that was speaking to you kind of like swerve side to side in thought. And as you feel that kind of haziness and chest tightness overtaking you as well, you hear that head speak in a very familiar voice to you. I suppose maybe we can settle this diplomatically.
Caro's filled with question marks.
Everyone put your weapons down. You're under arrest by the authority of the Peacekeepers.
Neon gets out of their mech. Neon gets out of their mech.
Can they
It was me!
Can they understand you?
Yeah, no, only Caro can understand.
Caro turned in her haziness and said, They said we're under arrest by the peacekeepers."
Where's that meme of fucking plankton?
What?
What?
Dude, I don't think that's plankton. I think that's like just a fish, like just one of the fishes.
He just sounds like plankton.
He does. I think it might be the same voice actor. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of you, as you all are like attacking and like piloting mechs and running for your lives.
If I can get 2-second clip to get us copyrighted.
As you all hear Caro's echoing voice in the cavern say this in a deeply like kind of groggy and hazed voice. I will say, before the Hydra takes their turn, you all have a chance to comply.
They're turn about to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before it takes its turn, who, if anyone, is going to follow
Can I do something real
Caro.
It's not your turn.
Caro wants to say, but so he's are you a he?
Of course. You didn't know that already?
Sorry. I'm a little woozy.
Yeah, I'm feeling it myself.
Something in the air.
You said we could do this peacefully, so maybe just put our weapons down and calm down.
Did Caro direct this at the Hydra or at all of us?
Basically, I'm giving all of you a chance to, if your character would, comply with Caro's suggestion, which may influence the Hydra's turn. Basically, I didn't want to have it attack you before peaceful negotiations get their opportunity. So, is anyone going to follow Caro's advice?
Maybe Neon can show him a badge.
In response to what Caro just said, you're joking.
Do I look like I'm joking? And she's just kind of wobbly.
All of you right now are like your vision's flashing, you're seeing spots, and like half of you are about to pass out.
It's
Kind
not
of
like
hard
we
to
can
tell.
continue fighting.
My main goal is getting out of the room.
All right, so Zephyr, you're gonna just keep running. Okay. So basically, like, just show of hands who.
Why?
Go on.
I was gonna say, why should we surrender?
Can we maybe confirm that? Can we maybe see if this is actually true before we do anything?
Caro, you can see the Hydra kind of looking around at everyone, Zephyr running away, and Gil and Caleb seeming kind of uncertain, and the heads all kind of roll and crack their necks. All right, can't say I didn't try. And with that, the heads all lunge around the room. Zephyr, you look back and see one of the heads stretching like inhumanly across the floor to reach you. And while you manage to avoid the worst of its snapping poisonous jaws, one of the fangs does nick your leg nastily for an additional 7 necrotic damage.
Alright, so I should have done this last time because I completely forgot I could do Uncanny Dodge.
Alright.
Take half that.
Alright, noted. So, alright, you'll take half of that.
And if Caleb gets hit, he will be doing the same.
Alright, noted. Lucian.
Is it rolling to attack?
Yeah, I've already taken care of the rolls preemptively. Saves time.
Okay.
And
If it is his turn, he needs to do a saving throw. I need to do my Spirit Guardian's 3d8.
Yep.
I need to do 3d8.
Yeah, it's at the start of its turn. So, yeah, go ahead and roll your damage, and just so we have the result ready.
Round it up or round it down?
Got it.
Half damage you round down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I got the damage.
All right, roll me a d6.
Okay.
Rogues can be
4.
kind of tanky with uncanny dodge.
They can. And 4, you said, Lucian?
Could have taken a lot less damage.
Yes.
But I forgot
Okay.
about it.
All right, and how much damage did you do?
21. Necrotic.
Oh. Okay. And Zephyr, as you see the snapping jaw continuing to snake its way towards you, Neon, the slithering heads begin to envelop Morrigan, and you can actually hear hear and see the front windshield of Morrigan actually burst and crack with a massive hole as one of the Hydra's fangs bores into the glass. But Lucian, you raise your hands as Morrigan
Is there a head coming for Caleb too?
No, actually, none of the heads appear to be concerned with you. And Lucian, you raise your hands, and your spirit guardians continue to envelop the writhing coils. And Neon, as you start to panic, as one of the fangs pierces through and starts to drip venom into the chassis of Morrigan, inches away from your face in the pilot seat, the Hydra suddenly jerks wildly as the shadowy creatures eat further and further down into its flesh, working their way down to the muscle, the sinew, and the bone, before finally the Hydra struggles and writhes before finally falling limp.
I'm continuing
Caleb
to
is
get out.
going to.
Neon, could you
Is
do
it
me a favor?
defeated?
Could you set that on fire? I'm going to close my eyes. I would like you to set that thing on fire. I'm going to close my eyes.
Well,
Wait, doesn't fire treat?
Yeah,
Caleb's like,
they're closing their eyes.
oh,
No, it's because of her thing with fire.
Mm-hmm. All right, Neon, are you going to comply?
well, I'm going to need you both to move, referring to her and, fuck. Gil.
Gil, I never thought I would say this in my
does
entire
Caleb
life.
need to move too?
Yeah, but you can do
Nah.
that, really.
I don't think Caleb would need to move.
Caleb's still gonna back away
Can
anyway.
you move? Luke?
Well, I'm gonna continue to get out of the room.
All right.
Okay, Zephyr apparently is not aware of the fact that he is dead and will continue to run.
Well, it's more or less if he's still feeling that feeling of
Yeah. So don't move your token from where you are, Zephyr, because I have something for you. But with that being said, Neon, are you going to burn the
Okay,
body?
Lucian told Gil to move
Yes.
her, so he's gonna pick her up, put her over his shoulder, and get out of the way.
All right, noted.
Like this.
All right, let me move to a different. All right. Or now let's go with this one. All right, Zephyr, as you continue to run, Caleb, you see the Hydra fall limp, its coils falling loose from Morrigan, and Gil, as you cart Lucian away, and Neon, just to confirm, you can still use your flamethrower another time, right?
Yes, I can. It's based on ammo.
Okay, just checking. So you proceed to start charring the body of the Hydra. Would you do me a favor and make me roll me a d6?
Yep. That would be a 5.
Okay.
Da, da, da.
Noted. Yeah, noted.
Also, Caleb's going to take, now that the battle seems to be over, Caleb's going to take an opportunity to reload his musket with clean powder.
All right. So, Gil,
I'm gonna
you
look.
start,
Does anybody need healing?
well, so don't get ahead of me, guys.
We're not gonna go.
Zephyr, as you start limping and gasping for air away, Gil, you start carting Lucian, and Lucian, you start looking around to see who's injured. Neon, you commence to burning the body of the Hydra, and Caleb, you step back and start reloading your rifle. That kind of lightheaded feeling starts to overtake all of you, and your visions all flicker black like you're on the verge of passing out. And you all wake up back where you had started, as if you hadn't moved at all. And-
I figured something.
The cavern goes dark as the barnacles on the ceiling retract their glowing tendrils. And as you all look around and find yourselves in combat-like positions, but sloppy. Neon, you see that your grip on Morgan's piloting mechanism is loose and clumsy. Caleb, looking down, you see that you're actually barely like keeping the musket in hand as you're attempting to reload it. As all of you can suddenly feel yourselves like still breathing a little lightly, but able to actually take in full lungfuls of air. And Neon, taking a glance, you don't see a body. Even the burned remains you left.
All right. Well, I want to move up into that tunnel ahead of us.
All right, and I'll say as you're doing this,
is all the damage we've taken, is that still real?
Yes, the damage is real, because I was about to point out, Neon, as you kind of like have Morgan start moving and you all kind of look over yourselves and Lucian start examining the state of the party, Neon, you see that the shrapnel of the grenade you launched is wedged up Morgan's side. You see that there's multiple gaping holes in Morgan's windshield, including a crossbow bolt that appears to still be wedged inside of it. Lucian, you see with like a shark that your clothes are singed and the edges of your dress and like hem of them are like seem as if they had been burning. And Zephyr, you see massive bite marks and claw marks across your stomach. And Caro, you see multiple burn wounds on yourself as well as a crossbow bolt wedged into your waist.
Does Caleb have anything on him?
Thank you for correcting me. Caro, you have the crossbow bolt in your waist. Caleb, you're the one who has like singes on your clothes. It doesn't seem like severe.
Do I need to remove health from Caleb?
No, you took aesthetic damage, but it doesn't appear to have hit your skin.
I'm going
is Caleb's cloak now broken?
No, it's not broken, just a little singed. You presume you could easily repair it.
So I would like to, in this very, very moment, as everybody is, kind of in shock and awe, I'm going to cast as a second level prayer of healing. So I'll roll that.
All right, Neon, do you want to wait for that before you?
I want to know who Caleb stabbed.
It won't heal me. I mean,
I won't heal robot.
Morgan, no.
Oh right, yeah. Correct, Morgan self damage, and we'll. I guess we can talk about the. Well, let's see if anyone unfurls it for themselves. I'll talk more about it post session if nobody figures it out.
Well, going off of what Caleb's seen so far, he's going to look at the back of Morgan and see if there's slash or stab marks on the back of Morgan.
Make me an investigation check. I'll give you advantage since you're looking for marks from your own weapon. And Lucian, just when Caleb's finished, have your prayer healing heal ready, and then we can have everyone say what they got.
That's going to be a 14.
Caleb, you kind of jog to keep pace with Morgan as Neon starts to head off to investigate the tunnel, and you don't recognize slashes, but you do recognize a very noticeable hole next to the crossbow bolt still wedged in the windshield that looks like it came from your blade.
Wow, Caleb thought he was attacking from behind.
You guys thought a lot of things.
You see, I thought we were going to wake up and it was going to turn out that whenever we talked to those guys, they used something on us and then they stole all our stuff.
Well, the thing is, even though Zephyr did hear about this creature also.
And it talked with Neon's voice. That being said, so Lucian, how much does everyone sans Morgan heal?
21.
All right,
Yeah.
Everyone heals for 21.
Caleb didn't take any damage, so
Yes, yeah, you're fine.
I'm not allowed to have it as temp health. There's no overheal in this game.
Yeah, got dedicated spells for that.
Back at full health.
Yeah, you're fine. So, Lucian, as you commence your prayer, and everyone's wounds begin to patch up, although Morgan's damage remains. Neon, how far into the tunnel are you willing to head?
Let me see. I want to poke at least like 80 feet from where I'm currently standing. So I guess that would be about 40 feet into the tunnel itself.
Okay, easy enough to do. And Caleb, since you were already kind of keeping pace with them, do you want to follow or stay with the group for now?
Yeah, Caleb will follow Morgan.
All right.
He'll like be slipping around under him.
All right. So Neon and Caleb, you head off into the tunnel to see where the hydra, quote unquote, had come from. In the meantime, Lucian, as you're doing your prayer, Gil, Caro, and Zephyr, what are you all doing, if anything?
Kara's just petting Garo and just,
Okay.
that's weird.
Good to know.
Garo kind of like,
I was gonna say Gil goes with Neon just to make sure that nothing else happens.
Okay, yeah, easy enough to do. So you follow the scouts, and Caro, as you pet Garo to kind of ponder the strange situation you're in, Garo kind of looks up at you with an equally confused look, and you can see their breath heaving as well, seeming like they're catching their breath just as much as the party is.
You what?
I have a question, TM. I have a question. So with my questionable medical acknowledgements, do I know if they're like poisoned or like
Make a medicine check.
like okay.
And I'll give you advantage because you're experiencing the symptoms yourself.
Okay. Nice.
And no,
Let's see.
all a dream.
24.
Lucian, as you kind of consider the evidence, you start to arrive at the same conclusion the others had arrived at, that you had somehow attacked each other. And looking up at the glowing barnacles, you kind of ponder for a second, and you... also, Caro, yes to what you sent me over text, but try to avoid communicating over text. I'm DMing at the moment. You can always ask questions vocally. But yeah, Lucian, looking up, you don't recognize the exact species, but you do recognize this feeding mechanism they're doing. Those creatures feed on dangerous substances in the air. And looking to the complete lack of evidence that there was ever a body of a creature to begin with, and your friend's wounds, and that kind of strange lightheaded feeling you got, you realize that you and your friends had been experiencing oxygen deprivation, the kind of symptoms you experience at incredibly high altitudes, where there's so little air to breathe that your brain is starting to like panic and go into an almost adrenaline-like state in an attempt to make up for the lost energy. So what you can gather is that there had been so little breathable air in the room that you and the party began to hallucinate and attacked each other in fear.
Okay.
Really, you guessed the whole oxygen deprivation thing.
Something like, those little top things would causing something.
I kind of had a feeling it may have been that, mostly because of the gasping for air and being in the roughly same formation. So, like, it was like, let's see if Lucian can figure it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
I will, guys, I think that we need to get out of this cave. It is really, this is really bad. We just hallucinated that whole thing, if you guys didn't know. She's not being her usual self, I guess. She's more being let's go, this is bad. Does anybody else need more healing?
All right. Neon, Caleb, and Gil, the three of you scouting on ahead, can hear like the kind of distant conversation as Lucian kind of ponders this evidence. I will say as a quick side note before we get to like actual game stuff. Yeah, I will. I will say, Neon should count your lucky stars because Lucian killing the Hydra before they took their turn fully saved Morgan from additional 70 damage from the combined damage Zephyr and Caleb did.
I was trying to think to myself, what about that 50 damage I did?
Yeah, no, I was gonna apply that if the Hydra had lived.
Oh my god.
Thank goodness for that.
Hey, how much health? I gotta know, how much health does your mech have?
78 total.
Ooh.
But, did Gil take any damage during that encounter?
Nah, the Hydra, quote-unquote Hydra, never bit you. In other words, nobody rolled the appropriate way to hit you.
So wait, were you saving our rolls?
Yes.
I think that's what the D6.
How are you deciding which target?
That's what the D6
Yeah,
is.
like the D6 was targeting each other. Yeah.
Let's see. So Caleb,
yeah, could I
what did
assess
Caleb,
if I
Caleb
hurt
rolled a
anybody?
2.
Yeah.
Which was Neon, right?
We'll go over this after game. Gil, for your thing, since it's an in-game thing, I'll say make me an investigation check before you catch up to Neon.
Can I do one as well to see if I can assess who I've injured?
Yeah, sure. Both of you roll investigation.
Go on ahead.
Caleb knows who he injured.
13.
Okay, 13 for Gil. Lucian? Lucian?
Sorry. I'm bad at math. 16.
Okay. The two of you, Gil, as you're starting to walk towards Caleb and Neon, you kind of hear this happening and immediately start surveying the group to see who you may have injured. And Lucian, you start to take stock of the same. And looking around, Gil, those claw marks across Zephyr's healing stomach look pretty familiar. And Lucian, taking a look around as well, you also see Zephyr has bite marks as if small creatures had been gnawing at his skin.
Oh.
Okay, I don't feel bad. I'm good now.
I'm gonna look down at Zephyr and I'm gonna get down to his level. Are you sure you're okay?
Better be careful. It might be like a dog. He might bite you if you get too close to him.
Can I insight that? Can I insight that?
Zephyr, are you lying?
Do I believe you?
Oh, that's up to you to believe him. You can roll
Well, I'll say for my reference, so that I know like what rolls have to be made, if any. Is Zephyr lying when he says that he's fine?
Pretty much, yeah. He's missing 1 HP.
Yeah, so I'll say, Lucian, go ahead and make an insight check.
That's what I'll say.
So that would be a 18.
Lucian kind of looking carefully over the kobold that you've been at the throat of for most of the adventure, and quite literally in the last few seconds. You see that he does seem to genuinely be all right. He doesn't seem too beat up metaphorically about the situation, and looking at him, your healing spell appears to have healed up the worst of the damage you and Gil did to him. The claw marks are reduced to just a patch of sensitive skin, and your bite marks are just small, like somewhat sore-looking red spots.
Okay.
That's it.
I would like to try to look him in the eyes.
Try to look at Zephyr in the eyes.
Zephyr. Yes, Zephyr.
I get confusingly looks. He will look kind of back. I mean, Great.
I'm I'm sorry. I would not have done that on purpose. I know that you and I fight a lot, but I do hold a grudge for what you did. I can admit. But I do apologize, at least for myself, for hurting you.
He's going to look at you, just still with the confused face, as he just sort of like, thanks. Yes, it seems as though we all kind of act each other. So,
Well, it seems to me that you got the most of it from Gil and I.
well, yeah.
I don't
also, I was just
know how he feels.
Does
but
acid damage?
He doesn't feel bad at all.
Well, yeah. Well, you wouldn't do as. Again, I forgot to. But yeah, Gil does acid damage.
No, he did lightning.
They did lightning and then acid. Like,
No, he did lightning and necrotic, which was Lucian's spell and Gil's claws.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think to myself. Other things.
You must have been grinning the whole
Yes,
time.
it was. I was so excited for this boss fight.
And whenever Zephyr hit that 50 damage,
I was just like, ooh, dude, please roll a d6 for me and see who you hit with that.
See who dies, essentially.
he probably would have outright killed Caleb.
Downed him.
Yeah, he would have downed him. I don't think it would have killed him outright, but...
I would have done 10 more damage than Caleb's health.
It has to be double, so.
So Lucian will kind of stand up and awkwardly stand there.
Several.
No, that change?
I owe them an apology. I owe them an apology. It's as simple as that, Gil.
Gil still pretty happy about the damage you did to Zephyr. You stow your claws and start running to keep pace with Neon and Caleb, who are heading into the tunnel ahead of everyone. Gil, as you catch up, Neon, Caleb, and Gil, the three of you find yourself heading down a tunnel, not unlike the ones you've been in, although this one is incredibly well kept. The walls have some carvings on them, although it does not it does not appear to be any kind of language any of you recognize. It appears like they likely have some kind of like hieroglyphic-esque religious significance, but that's about the best you can guess at a glance. And about 30 feet down the tunnel, in the darkness, you all stop as you find yourself face to face with a door. Not a door very unlike any door you've seen before. This is a massive circular wall that takes up the entire width and height of the tunnel. And in the center of it is this massive turnable crank of sorts.
How big is it compared to, like, Caleb?
You'd estimate a single, like, grabbing portion of this would, for Caleb's size, be somewhere in the ballpark of almost like twice your length. It definitely requires either some heavy lifting to turn these or the efforts of multiple people. And Caleb, as you're kind of examining the arms and kind of realizing like how much bigger and like heavy this must be, Neon and Gil, you both glance up at the top. And Caleb, you can see this too, but I'm just like flavoring it to get individual people involved. Neon and Gil, you turn your attention to the top of the of this wall-like door, incredibly secure and thick-looking, and you see Elvish markings. And I believe both of you can read Elvish, so you would both know.
Caleb can as well.
Yep. So Caleb, as you turn your attention up there as well, all three of you see that the Elvish scripture above this door says airlock.
Oh.
I doubt Caleb would
that
know
makes
what an
sense
airlock
now.
is.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, I know I have no idea, but me personally, this makes more sense now.
Caleb is like, I wonder if Neon's mech could open this.
I don't know if I wanted to.
Well, Gil
What's
wants
wrong
to
with it?
open the door.
Kill is opening it. Like, if you're not stupid enough, then I'll do it.
All right, so Gil, you start
Do you
pushing
know
up.
what, Neon, do you know what the word means on top of it?
Airlock?
Well, it says airlock.
That's usually to keep some.
Air on.
No, that's not at all what it does. In fact, it's quite possibly the only thing keeping the air in.
Oh,
Nah, I don't know about that. As he continues to open the
Yep.
door.
And Gil,
I
as you
think you're
start
an idiot.
Gil, as you start like pushing up on some of them and trying to pull at others, it does wiggle and feels like it might bend, but even at your most like vein bulging strength, you find yourself unable to force the crank to turn.
Hello?
What's the matter?
I don't hear anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
you failed.
I failed.
Mm-hmm.
also Matthew, you've not been moving the icons.
yeah, sorry, the battle was over, so I was mostly just focusing on background stuff. Yeah, sure. Here, I'll move Gil up as well. Oh, and Zephyr, you're gonna follow as well.
God.
I'll say real quick. While Jeremy gets his technicals sorted, Kero and Lucian, you see Zephyr heading up to join the others in the tunnel ahead. Do the two of you wish to follow?
Sure.
Hey, all the boys are up here investigating the door.
Okay.
And the girls are back here with the tiger.
So, what was it that was above us? Were they mushrooms?
Make a nature check.
Fungus. Killing us.
Yeah. Okay, that flubbed on me. It rolled
yeah,
away.
Yeah, I get it.
12.
You've never encountered this before, but you do know this isn't a fungus. You've heard of creatures like this. Barnacles, they're called. You've never seen this variety, although you have heard rumors among adventurers back home that there is a species of barnacle that live in underground areas like this and feed on hazardous substances in the air. So while you've never encountered it, you've heard enough rumors, and you can definitely tell these are barnacles, that given like the proximity of everything, you feel that it is at least a rational enough conclusion that it is unlikely they were generating whatever it was and simply feeding on it.
What's the
You ready
intelligence
to go, Kero?
of barnacles?
Not super smart. They're barnacles.
Well, we don't know how
good.
smart they are. These are homebrewed barnacles of extreme intelligence.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals on them.
Well, yeah, you passed out, so you would have lost concentration. All right. So you cast Speak with Animals. What would you like to say?
Look up at them. Just, excuse me.
Just excuse me. And for the intelligence, what's the requirement for the store?
So there isn't a required intelligence. What the intelligence affects is what they can tell you. as far as
So like a stupid creature couldn't tell you a whole lot. Okay.
Knowledge and
yeah,
awareness.
like a dumber creature would only be able to tell you about like
Okay.
nearby things, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that makes
in
sense.
their vicinity.
Yeah, all right. So as you call up, you don't see any movement on the ceiling, but you do hear yes, 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 yes.
So you guys eat the nasty stuff in the air, right?
Comes from the rocks.
The rocks?
Ooh,
Around us?
Mhm.
Kara narrows her eyes and like looks like math is going across her face. So what is it? Is it a
Carol, what
poison?
does that look on your face?
Kara turns to Lucy and says, the barnacle said that the nasty gas or whatever. It's gas, right?
Yep.
Well,
And then you
I
see
mean,
one of them unfurl their fan.
It comes from the rocks.
the air or the gas?
The gas, it comes from the rocks, they said.
That's interesting.
What does it taste
Could
like?
I? Oh no!
Tastes like yellow.
Tastes like
It tastes like what?
yeah.
Oh, yummo.
DM, could I assess what they're talking about? Like you said that there was a gas coming from the rock.
That's what Caro has passed on to you, yes. Make me, I'll call this a nature check at disadvantage, because you're working with a you're working with a dumb speaker through a not super bright translator and working with limited knowledge. So yeah.
I mean, that's fucking fair. Let's see. You said nature?
Yeah, nature at disadvantage.
Stupid. It could be a very intelligent creature.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a barnacle, Jeremy. It has an intelligence of 2.
I love it. 15.
You haven't the goddamn foggiest.
Garo.
I possibly go to one of the rocks and examine the rocks.
Make an investigation check. Still at disadvantage because you're still not 100% sure what you're even looking for.
Garo, do you see any of the rocks that they could be talking about?
Garo kind of like rolls their head and roll an investigation check for Garo.
Yeah.
I
was
am
hoping
not
it was
joking. I
perception
rolled the same thing.
check. So sad. He gets advantage on them. Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I
Right.
rolled 215, so that's 19.
Okay.
Investigation. Oh, I forget.
If you're proficient, your proficiency and intelligence.
Okay. Poor Garo, he's a dumb bitch.
Aww.
It's disadvantage, right?
Yeah, because you don't know what you're looking for specifically.
He got an 11.
Okay. Lucian 15, Garo 11. The tiger and the tiger start searching the nearby vicinity for any strange, poisonous-looking rocks. Working off of nothing but that in a barnacle's eyes, they taste like yellow. And
I mean, what more information do you need, though?
Garo kind of sniffing around, not wanting to stray too far from you. Caro doesn't find a whole lot, but Lucian kind of peering around at the walls. You do see that behind some of the stained glass, like where it had once been, kind of having to nudge aside some shards of it. You do see a strange ore in the wall, as if it was in the process of being mined out. It's this like dull, like very dull gold color, and looks very like almost coppery. It has that kind of rough hewn ore texture to it, and it doesn't at a glance seem overly remarkable, but that's the only thing unusual you find that you don't expect to.
I kind of point out the ore to Kero. Do you think that this is pyrite?
Karo bounds over there and takes a look. Can I make a check? Would I know?
Like to identify it?
Yeah.
Make me a history check.
12.
You're not sure. This doesn't. You're not even 100% sure what pyrite is, but but you definitely know you aren't familiar with the metal that you're looking at right now.
I have no idea. But would you want
You
to take some
do
with
know
us?
what hydrate is, right?
No. I'm not a miner.
Oh.
I live in
Well,
this room.
Carol, do I seem like a minor to you?
Well, you like books? Books would get wet where I live.
Lucian
Carol's
just
precious.
kind of Lucian kind of like looks a little puzzled at this. Pyrite, Carol, is fool's gold. It's iron
I don't know if
sulfate.
they'd know that either.
I'll allow it.
She did. I know it.
It's a harmless bit of lore knowledge. That's fine.
I mean, that and like Fool's Gold is a much more known name.
Yeah, like it's a colloquial thing.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, it releases certain gases. Well, not gases, but more like it's more like arsenic.
Kara wants to turn to the barnacles and look up at them and point at the pyrite and say, "Is this what you meant by tastes like yellow?"
Mm-hmm.
They said this is what they meant. Thank you, by the way.
I
It's
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Long-tongued creatures have to stick together.
Carol, go.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that they said that it tastes like yellow.
It is yellow. And I guess that's what it would taste like, huh?
It is very yellow.
Do you want to take some? We could get the bag.
Oh, actually, no, that's a really good idea. I kind of do want to take some pyrite. Do you think it's okay?
I mean, it's not like anyone here is taking it.
Can I take some pyrite?
You can try.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking try.
how are you
Yeah. So
doing this?
how do you intend to go about it?
Well, the
I
apparently
just
can
want
make
to see if I can
difference
if there's
sulfuric
any
acid.
loose.
Yeah, and one more
If
time,
there's
Lucian.
anything, if there's anything loose, like if there's any, like, because you said that it may have been mined before, so I'm gonna see if there's anything loose already.
All right, and assuming that, like, because I'm assuming you're trying to get like a relatively decent amount more than just what scraps you can claw
I
off.
just want a nugget.
Okay. So basically, if you're gonna try and get a good piece free, I'll say at a glance, it doesn't appear like it's incredibly loose. You more get the impression that it had been exposed while mining, and then the mine was quickly abandoned for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's kind of the conclusion that I came to, anyways.
That's good. Get it for you.
Pardon?
You could ask Jill to get it for you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Punch it.
I'm trying to
You
think.
could cut it out.
I could. I don't
With what?
know if I have anything.
Is it
Well-
plastic claws?
Lucian, as you ponder how you're going to go about this, and Caro, you chat with the barnacles. Zephyr, heading up into the front tunnel, you find the same site that Neon, Caleb, and Gil have been looking at. Gil attempting fruitlessly to open the door single-handedly, as Neon seems unwilling to open it, and Caleb more kind of like, you know, wrapping his head around what an airlock is and whether it's safe to open or not as you approach. And you, I believe you can read Elvish, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you don't know what it says, but you do see the three like attempting to or arguing against opening the door.
You'll mention he's gonna try anyways. No one's stopping him, you know.
Yeah, but he couldn't get it to move.
Right?
Of course he's trying. But whether or not he succeeds is up to Matthew.
Mm.
Well, Matthew already said you couldn't get it open.
Yeah, like you're pushing, you're pulling, like it's like, you know, there's only so much muscle mass you can store in that elvish body, and it is not enough to turn this crank.
He's still trying.
No, I know you're trying. I'm just
Never gonna
acknowledging.
Acknowledging that it's completely failing.
Yeah, gotta fail sometimes. So Zephyr, anything noteworthy as you approach?
Now, what does that mean?
Well, you know, besides my brother, I'm just wondering, like, are they any better than Luke?
Pyrite forms rather cubically.
Excuse me?
And indeed it does, you are correct.
I'm gonna take back
So
my
cubey.
apology, bitch.
Hey, you thinking this? That's all. But like, I guess he'll just approach the party and just ask, so, what's the plan here?
Open the door.
I'd like to go.
You're not here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not here yet.
Oh, fuck,
You're,
sorry.
you're talking to Barnacles.
Yeah, this is Gil, Neon, and Caleb.
You're talking to barnacles right now.
Yeah.
What a load of barnacles!
A load of that is a load of barnacles up there on that ceiling.
Watch your mouth.
So yeah, Neon, Gil, and Caleb, you see Zephyr approach and ask what the plan is.
I'd like to at least warn the denizens here. But,
Hallucinogenic gas.
precisely. So I'd like to at least let them know it.
Door.
I'm going to ignore you.
Does he keep saying open the door?
He was
Caleb's just gonna like look to Gil and be like, I think Neon understands that word better than we do, so I don't think we should open the door if he doesn't think we should open the door. And you don't think we should open the door, right, Neon?
I don't think it's worth taking the risk. Because for all we know, there could be poisonous fumes on the other side of that door.
That's good enough reason for me. Go.
Scaredy cat.
I'm just ignoring him at this point.
Yep.
Neon just walks. Neon pulls a Zephyr and
Yeah,
walks
Neon
away.
walks away.
We're all just walking away from
So just Neon, Caleb, and Zephyr all walk away.
All right, Gil, you are left to struggle fruitlessly with this massive steel valve.
I will get
And-
it eventually.
Neon, Caleb, and Zephyr, as you rejoin Caro and Lucian, you both see everyone sans Gil returning to where you had been, as you all see Lucian kind of examining this strange dull yellow ore in the wall, and Caro just having a chatty conversation with the creatures on the ceiling, presumably, as her head's turned upwards and speaking in animal tongue. Either that or they've had a mental breakdown from the hydra fight, one of the two. And Neon, make me a history check with advantage, if you don't mind.
What is Neon looking at?
Just they return to the room.
All right, history check with advantage. Let's see.
Recognize.
The first
One of
one.
these things just doesn't belong here.
The first one is a 12. The second one is a 19.
Neon, you kind of like look curiously at Lucian, like futzing around with this strange ore. And initially, like, it doesn't seem unusual to you, just a strange, possibly valuable in some way ore. But then it kind of clicks into your head very suddenly, and you feel a surge of panic. You recognize this metal. It is a metal that is used as a source of fuel in some of the troops of those cities, although it is not a common fuel source, because while it is more plentiful and produces more energy than the energy cells you're currently using do, it has dangerous side effects, especially when used to fuel things like buildings and, in your case, mechs. You estimate that from what you have...
So is it not pyrite?
Yeah, I never said it was pyrite. Lucian said it was pyrite.
Lucian said it was pyrite.
And Neon, you would know that, like the Peacekeepers have mentioned offhandedly, and you've heard from your investigations in the past, that this metal, which you know to be called orichalcum, is a powerful fuel source. One handful of it could probably fuel Morrigan for years, but it would probably suffocate you in the cockpit.
I was like, it's suffocating.
Wait, he probably doesn't know about that place. The place that was very badly affected by their use of orichalcum.
Nope. That's some world building and lore. But yeah, so Neon, you recognize this as a very fuel efficient source of energy that is not used even by cities in an energy crisis because of how dangerous it is for those who use it. And Lucian is currently poking and trying to like claw some of it off the wall.
Mage, I'm going to need you to put that down on the ground. Very, very carefully.
I forgot her nickname was Mage, right? From...
She does not answer to Mage. She is continuing to poke.
For Christ's sakes! And I jump out of the mech, and I want to grab the arm. Yeah. I want to stab her in the neck. No, I want to grab the wrist that is holding the fuel.
Yeah, they haven't gotten any of it out of the wall yet. They're just kind of like seeing if they can pull any of it off, which they don't apparently have much luck. But yeah, like Lucian, your hand is grabbed by a very like agitated looking Neon.
I'll look agitated back at him. I need this for research.
You do not need that for anything. It's way too dangerous. Nobody uses it.
It's just a little bit of pyrite.
For once in your life, can you accept that someone else may know more about this than you do?
She narrows her eyes.
I just look tired.
Then what do you know, officer?
I know that it's very dangerous. It's anyone who uses it in anything is risking suffocation in whatever they're fueling with it. And most cities, even if they're undergoing...
Oh, pyrite.
That's not pyrite.
What is it?
It's orichalcum.
I don't know that word.
Exactly, and I do.
I am still going to put a nugget.
You're going to do no such thing. You're going to leave it where it is, and we're going to go.
She just stares at him for the longest time.
Caleb is going to come over and be like, I think we should listen to Neon on this. He seems to know something.
She looks down to Caleb. I need it for research.
Why do you need it for research? What kind of research do you need to do with it?
I'm trying to learn about alchemy. This is like perfect to learn alchemy with.
Dangerous substance.
Wait, so if I remember correctly, isn't a bag of holding basically another dimension, basically?
Yeah, it creates a pocket dimension that you can carry with you, basically.
All dimension, yeah.
Caleb's going to pull out his bag of holding and be like, do you think it'd be safe to put in the bag of holding instead, Neon, so it's not on our actual person?
Fine, but keep it sealed.
I'm just trying to find a compromise so we don't sit here wasting time.
Let me see. I might have something that can help. With
So you
this.
still have to get it out.
Could yeah, I'm gonna look over to Gil and
Did Gil return?
smile. Gil!
Yeah, I just flash when I give it up on the door.
Where are you, Gil?
Where are you, you son of a bitch?
Like,
I do not have muscles, he has muscles.
okay, what? Who said that? Who said that? No, not you. The other one. Like, Gil's gonna like pop out of nowhere. Like, okay, who called me bad name? Like, who called me that? Somebody insulted Gil.
Well, that happens on the daily, Why are you surprised?
Because he hasn't heard this one. He wants whoever said it to repeat it. He wants to hear it.
Well, if you're going to talk bad about him, you might as well do it to his face.
I don't know. Somebody said something about Gil.
Neon,
I think it was you, Hunter.
Neon, as you feel a bit of concern, you see Gil come striding in, like agitated and like demanding to know who had been talking bad about him. And you contemplate whether the orichalcum is proceeding to poison all of you once again.
I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to get in Morgan, and I'm going to walk away.
Before you go away, Lucian will look to Neon and sigh dejectedly. On a scale to 1 to 10, how bad?
I mean, he already told you what it does. So.
What would it be, Matthew? What do you think? 7, 8, 9, 10?
It depends on the scale of its usage. I'll say you said your history was 19, correct?
Yes.
You know that on a small scale, it is definitely, especially for the purposes Lucian's intending to use it for, incredibly dangerous, as Lucian would likely be doing alchemy in an enclosed space. The orichalcum would suck all the oxygen out of the air, and Lucian would suffocate in their lab, just from having it on the table. So to an individual person, absolutely a 10. In an open space like this, you imagine it's more a matter of like how long it takes. To an individual person, as long as they avoid enclosed spaces, it's not too dangerous. It's just most of the things it's useful for require enclosed spaces.
Would it be safe in the bag of holding?
Yeah, Neon, I'll say you are confident it'd be safe in the bag, as the bag of holding does have very limited oxygen, so you definitely couldn't keep the orichalcum and, for example, a prisoner in the bag of holding like you normally could. But well, no, because you can keep a prisoner in there as long as you don't leave him in there for too long. But the orichalcum,
like bag of holding has to be like non-creatures.
No, you can put a living creature in there. They just can't be in there longer than 10 minutes, or they'll suffocate.
Oh.
Well, it'll only take 5 minutes if you have orichalcum in there.
But then all the oxygen in there would be gone. If you guys forget the orichalcum's in there and stuff an innocent goblin in there intending to interrogate him later, that goblin's going to suffocate. That being said, so yeah, Neon, I'd say by your best judgment, it could easily be a 9 and a 10 in Lucian's case. But I mean, if this was just a situation of like, oh, let's have a little battery for like for example, if you were to use it to fuel Gil's plasma gauntlets, it would only be dangerous to Gil if it was in an if you went into an enclosed space for too long. But in Lucian's context, it's incredibly dangerous simply because you don't exactly do alchemy in open fields where there's plenty of breathable air.
Basically, it's based off the environment.
Yeah. So yeah, 10.
Like if we were on the surface, it'd probably be almost negligible at this size.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much air on the surface that one little piece would never suck it all up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a small room.
Yeah.
It's the entire world.
So yeah, basically 10 in an enclosed space. Well, I'd say like maybe a 6 if you like kept it in open air, because it would eventually damage the amount of open air that's breathable, especially if there was a lot of it. But so it varies, but anywhere from a 6 to a 10 depending on context, but easily 10 in Lucian's specific use case.
My question for you: these experiments and this research you're intending to do, I imagine you're not intending to do it in the middle of an open field surrounded by wildflowers.
A tree.
She kind of looks at him like the look she gives you is like almost like why the fuck would I do that? And then she says, why the fuck would I do that?
That's good. That's some Lemony Snicket humor. You get inspiration for that if you don't have it already.
My point exactly.
My point.
If this entire last, I don't know how long has it been since we started the fight with the quote unquote hydra?
The hydra fight only lasted like somewhere in the ballpark of 20-30 seconds, but you passed out afterwards and you don't know how long you've been unconscious.
Yeah. So if the entire hydra debacle has somehow left your memory, that's the reason that all of that happened. It's because we're in an enclosed space with it, and it sucked up all the oxygen. So my point.
Very slowly, she will reel in her hand, and she will look at him. Very well, I will trust you. Let's go.
So, as they're going, Gil's going to be focused at the wall.
Okay.
Because didn't you also, like, with all that said though about the whole could power his gauntlets?
Nope, that was DM talk. All you heard is that it sucks up oxygen. It's incredibly dangerous. You did hear that it's a source of fuel, but Neon didn't say how efficient. Just that it's so dangerous that even cities in an energy crisis avoid it at all costs, even if it could power the cities forever.
It's dangerous. That's all you know.
But the question is, did all he hear was fuel and
Oh yeah, well, quite possibly, but I'm more clarifying his initial question. No, he did not hear that it could power his gauntlets. He just knows that it is a fuel source that's so dangerous nobody uses it. And even Lucian seems to have been convinced to walk away from it.
So as they all walk away, Gil's gonna hang back. He wants to use his gauntlets and carve out a decent chunk. Take with him.
You're just gonna quietly.
Oh boy.
Gil, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Suffocate to death.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's how we lose our first party member?
I swear, if I have to revivify your ass.
It's a 19.
Okay. Let me knock off another use of the plasma. You all hear, as you all are heading down the stairs at Neon's direction, presumably intending to find another way that doesn't involve the airlock, you all hear the sound of Gil's gauntlets powering up and turn to see him going to splash at the orichalcum deposit. And as soon as Gil's plasma makes contact with what, Neon, you understand to be an incredibly powerful conductor,
Oh god!
Is this going to be a repeat of the electric fence?
Gil, you take 15 poison damage and immediately stumble, and Gil without even Gil doesn't even seem to be conscious of it, but you all watch as Gil immediately vomits and turns to all of you, in the front of his body and especially around his arm with the gauntlet is burned a crispy red.
Oh. Okay, it was that's horrifying.
I look to Neon. Can you safely get that out of his reach?
I mean,
we ought to tan your hide. I'm going to run over with Morgan and just pick him up in Morgan's fucking jaws.
Gil, as you slowly come back to consciousness, you look down.
Your fucking hide.
Morgan has lifted you over their head and is taking you away. You can see you left a sizable divot that, if completed, could pull the orichalcum free, but you feel horribly sick.
Take
me back.
Take
no,
me back.
Me a ballad demon.
I would do no such thing, and I clench the jaws just a little bit tighter.
You all see this like fucking half-burnt and sickly-looking Gil being carted away by Morgan as you all head down the stairs.
Is he poisoned?
Make a medicine check.
Okay. That would be 27.
This entire thing, Gil's just going to think, why can't I have it? Why can't I have it? I got uses for that.
Yeah, he's poisoned.
Yeah, Lucian, by your best guesstimate, looking at Gil, you have seen similar, if not, it's not identical, but you've seen similar enough cases in your you and your father's line of work. He definitely is going to be sick for a while, but it doesn't look like it'll debilitate him in the long term, at least not in any measurable way. There may be a risk that he just shortened his lifespan by a few years, but for an elf, that's a pretty measly difference, so you imagine it's probably nothing to worry about. It looks like he definitely avoided as bad as it could have been. You've seen cases like this where flesh is burnt to the muscle. Gil looks like he just got pretty badly roasted before his body reflexively pulled off.
So there's no,
oh my god,
status
that
of
is
being
honestly
poisoned.
the most horrifying thing Caleb has seen in his life, probably.
So my question is to you, DM, would I identify him as being conditionally poisoned?
He is not conditionally poisoned, but like basically from a narrative standpoint, he's probably going to be sick for a few days, and it'll probably take quite a while for that skin to regrow. But as far as you're aware from similar cases, the worst that he's going to experience once the sickness wears off is that his lifespan may have gotten a few years shorter, unfortunately.
So
I'm gonna go up to Gil. I'm gonna go up to Gil and Morgan, and I'm going to take Gil by the hair and have him look at me, and I'm just gonna say, "You really are an idiot, but I'm going to make this a little easier on you. I would like to cast, just as a flavoring, Lesser Restoration to help with the basics. Yeah.
All right, easy enough to do.
And then I'll drop his head.
All right, Gil, the wooziness goes away and is replaced by the sharp pain you're experiencing of having your freshly lost a few layers of skin body is being like jumbled around in Morgan's jaws.
Can I try to force the jaws open so I can get out?
Are you serious?
Not like he's done. Like he's just done. And he doesn't.
This is a new level of stupidity.
He just wants to get out.
I'm talking as Gil.
I love that, like, every step Zephyr makes towards being a more functioning member of the party, Gil makes a few steps away.
It's not being bad.
You literally went back to stick a plasma glove into the thing Neon just identified as being so dangerous even Lucian shouldn't play with it, and ended up destroying a bit of your DNA in the process.
I'm sure. I mean, a few years is nothing to.
No, yeah, that's why Lucian like dismissed it as not incredibly noteworthy. Just like basically, it could have been way worse.
To be fair, I didn't say I was just going to randomly slash it. I said I was carving around the rock.
You can't exactly do that. Especially, you don't know how deep it goes. Like you just brushed it by accident. You had no idea how big this deposit was.
Seemed like it, but it reacted to your plasma by touch, charging it probably.
Yeah, and this is a conductor that just using oxygen as fuel can power a building for years with a tiny handful of it, and you stuck plasma into it.
You know what? It's funnier when you say it.
It's funny.
But yeah, Neon, how big of an effort are you making to keep a hold on Gil?
For now, a fair amount of effort until we're at least far enough away from the fucking orichalcum that he can't touch it anymore.
Yeah, I'll say in the time it would take Lucian to heal him and like Gil to be conscious enough to actually try and get out, you guys will probably be. So are you going to go back the way you came?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys will be in the hallway by that point. As you guys, I will move all of you. Begin making your way back. Intent for now on avoiding the dangerous metal that has freshly poisoned your friend. Is there anything? Lucian's aura is coming with us for now, but so, Neon, if you're not going to make a big effort, Gil, you start prying open Morgan's jaws, and Neon allows Morgan to simply drop you onto the cave floor with little resistance as you find yourself in the hallway connecting the cavern to the church that has been destroyed by the rock slide.
And he's just gonna get up and walk. He's just following it back.
Let's go back to the caravan, shall we?
I agree. I've had enough good deeds for today.
Okay.
We better go tell your friends that they're safe. Well, as safe as they can be with a poisonous gas.
They had to run somewhere. And speaking of which, as you all funnel back into the central church, coming to the decision to leave for the time being, you all see 4 of the deep ones. The king does not appear to be among them, nor the earth golem, but you do see 4 of the deep ones cowering at the top of the staircase, watching the entrance with like wide, terrified eyes. And as you all step forward, they kind of instinctively panic and like raise their spears before seeing that it's simply all of you, looking a little banged up, especially your mech, Neon, with the gaping holes in the windshield and the grenade shrapnel running up the side. But you all approach, and the deep ones keep their spears raised, as especially they feel even less confident without their leader present or their main muscle sources, and simply look at you with wide eyes. Is the snake dead?
There was no snake.
But there's always a snake!
It wasn't a snake. You're all hallucinating.
Was it an amphibian?
It wasn't anything.
They kind of squint at you. But it killed our friends! Our workers!
I don't know how to break this news.
How scary do you think those golems would be to you if you had to fight one?
One of them, a slightly vaguely purple tinted deep one, kind of strokes their wide bulbous chin in thought. Probably pretty dangerous. Our boss has them do all the heavy lifting because we're not very strong. He says, "Oh, you're weak fishes."
Well, whatever the hallucination is, it made us fight each other. So I think your golems wound up attacking you and each other.
They all kind of look at each other and one of them kind of narrows their eyes very slightly before, not seeing any obvious attempt at deception, kind of look to each other and just like, maybe we should keep the boss's stuff somewhere else.
Might be for the best.
They give you all a nod.
You also might want to not go down that hallway because it is very dangerous.
What is down there?
Gil's curious.
Danger.
More of the stuff that will make you hallucinate.
Yes, we will avoid it. We will gather the boss's things and find a new place.
I believe Gil was trying to say something.
Yeah. I was just getting dialogue going. And Gil?
with the fish people, do they look injured at this moment?
Make a medicine check.
$15.
Looking them over, they seem like they're more or less fine. It looks like their knees and feet got a little banged up. One of them has a kind of wicked gash across their shin, but you estimate that was likely from them diving off of the cliff rather than anything else. It looks like they just got scraped up in the fall and then ran for it.
But they don't look like they were fighting each other without knowing it from the hallucinating?
You don't see any wounds.
Where'd your leader...
Run the other way! Into the caves! When we hide with our pets!
Well, at least your pets are okay then.
They give a wide, kind of bulbous frog-like smile. And one of them, the kind of greenish tinted one that was looking at you all suspiciously earlier. Which way will you be going?
For now,
with keen mind, I will point the way that we are going.
I was like, the right? It's like,
Zephyr, you kind of just nod to the rightmost path and kind of look back and see Lucian proudly pointing like a bloodhound. And the green one kind of tightens their grip on their spear and narrows their bulbous eyes again. Will you be coming back?
Do we have a reason?
He kind of shakes his head. There's nothing else here! And they all kind of clutch their boss's loot to their chest.
Do I see the book?
No. I'll say you would, because you had all seen it. You would recall the leader was holding the book when he ran off.
Okay.
I'm ready to get out of this cave.
Yes, go!
You seem awfully ready for us to leave. Are you hiding something?
Yeah,
No, we just don't want you to the best anymore!
Can I insight that?
Sure, make an insight check.
Might I remind us all that we came here?
we have no reason to come here anyways. But no.
That's an 18.
They seem like they're being pretty forthright. You came in here, yelled at them, shined bright lights at them, it threatened them into compliance, unbeknownst to them, stole from them. They just want you out of their lair for the time being.
Just told them that apparently
Absolutely valid.
Their whole snake terror thing was fake.
Not just them hallucinating.
All right. I'm satisfied. Let's go.
All right. Caro, and I think Caro's the only one who hasn't said anything. Caro, do you have anything you want to do while you're here?
I want to look to the fish people. They're fish people, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to look to them. Just. Can you croak?
The kind of purplish tinted one kind of tilts their head curiously and kind of looks you up and down, almost like they're trying to gauge if you're planning something before they shake their head. No.
He translating this entire time.
I assume.
Yeah. A small sad face.
And
have to ask them.
With that, the deep one's clear so that you all can descend the stairs. They all just kind of watch you suspiciously before scampering off as you clear the church. You make your way back down the hall back into the spider cave, which, Kero, you still have one of them in your pocket. Down the massive hallway, past the bottomless pit with the unfinished staircase, and finally start making your way back down the central hall towards where you recall Barry and his truck to be. Let me get you all.
Do I hear the music?
As you guys get closer, you can hear a kind of distant, what appears to be a feminine-sounding pop singer's voice echoing through the tunnels, singing cheerfully as you all head down the dark tunnels. And sure enough, you see Barry's truck with Barry himself, goggles pulled down, just happily tapping out a song on the steering wheel of his truck and like singing, but the windows are rolled up so you cannot hear his voice. You just hear the kind of reverberations of the singer themselves. But you see Barry just happily singing to themselves and drumming on the steering wheel.
I go to the window and I knock.
He kind of like jolts.
Stop her.
No, there's no stopping this.
It's too late. Narration's already begun. You see Barry kind of jolt and like look and pull his goggles up to look at you and kind of gives a smile and presses a button off the side of the seat to roll the window down for you, Lucian. All right, fellas, what'd you find?
Absolutely
Some pretty
nothing.
interesting
Absolutely
things.
nothing has improved.
All right,
That's
something interesting and absolutely nothing. Getting some conflicting reports here.
I look to Neon. Give him the thing.
What thing? Oh, the head, right?
Yeah.
Neon, you're kind of confused for a second before you remember the AI bank of the security automaton in your satchel.
Demanding.
I was just a bitch.
I hand out the head. For the record, that was a joke.
Barry just kind of...
Because there was literally nothing, because there wasn't a hydra. Get it?
Oh.
Isn't it witty? Aren't I funny, guys?
You're funny. That was a natural 20 comedy roll. We just all rolled nat 1 on our humor.
Yeah.
Neon, you hold out the head of the automaton, and Barry kind of raises an eyebrow and exits the truck to go around the front end and approach you and takes it from you and kind of carefully looks it over. Oh, yeah? What's in this?
What happens to your...
Proof.
What happens to your couriers?
I don't suppose you know if there were any survivors?
There was one. Which, it seems she was the instigator of the whole thing.
Barry kind of like looks a bit shocked.
Give a name.
No, I do not. Actually, let me double check. Let me confirm that before we move on. Because if you did, I would have had it written down. Sorry, just a second. In the meantime, if anyone else wants to comment on anything. No, it does not look like you were given a name.
All right.
Okay.
Everything.
But I do know the description of the person.
What do they look like?
I describe her in full detail.
He kind of fidgets a little bit and kind of mutters to himself before giving you a nod. Okay. And he pulls his PDA free and all right, I'm gonna send the report off to the mother and make the delivery as scheduled. So I'm off to Ergos. You guys are on your own from here.
Alright.
Actually, how much would it cost for us to maybe get a ride from you?
He kind of like tilts his head. How much talking are you planning to do?
Ooh.
I could be in the back and reading my book the entire way.
He looks over the rest of you cautiously before. I know you guys don't really do the whole digital currency thing, surface dwellers, so what's the conversion on this?
Wasn't it 1-to-1?
Well, yeah, but bear in mind that credits are one single unit, but here he has to take into account like silvers and coppers. All right, let's keep this simple. If you're not going to talk, then 4 gold.
Okay, I can pay that.
And I'm assuming you pay the man.
Yep, I will pay the man.
All right. He smiles and nods to the truck. All right, take whatever seats you feel like. And he kind of hesitates and looks over all of you again before giving a nod. Thanks. Let me just get this stuff sent off to the mother, and I'll get you guys to Ergos.
A question.
Great.
Yeah, shoot, little dude.
Do you mind if I play DJ for this one?
He gives you a wide smile. Depends. How's your taste?
I promise it's good.
Deal. And he gives you a wide smile and flips the robot head in his hands before hoisting it under his arm and pulling his PDA free. You guys get comfy. It's going to take me a few minutes.
Caleb, do you want front seat again?
Yes.
All right, little dude, you take the back if you're planning to play DJ for this one.
Sounds good.
I'm assuming other than Neon and Lucian switching places, everyone else's seating arrangements will be relatively similar to the first.
Yep, I'll still be in the very back. Sure, you spent what's in the boxes.
All right.
Not looking.
No.
You all pile up into your usual seats with a few small adjustments. And before Barry finishes his work and you guys set off, Kero, is there anything you'd like to do?
No. Just vibe.
All right. Zephyr, anything from you?
He's expecting this ride to be long, so he'll actually go to his brother.
All right. Caleb, as you're getting comfy in the front seat, Zephyr approaches you.
Caleb will look to Zephyr. Yes.
If I remember correctly, have some items that you don't.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to make Caleb roll a history check here. Okay. Dirty 20.
Yes, you recall you have, I believe, a pair of glasses and a bluish-gray cloak in your bag of holding.
Okay.
Although feel free to mention if I've forgotten one and didn't mention it.
I guess Caleb will be like, he has to think for a second. Oh, yes. And he'll retrieve his bag of holding to grab the things.
All right. Zephyr, you are handed the somewhat awkward-looking glasses and the relatively well-made cloak that is a smooth, kind of like very smooth sandpaper, if that makes any sense, like a kind of almost scaly sensation, bluish-gray cloak by your brother from the bag of holding.
All right. And he'll kind of just explain that. Well, you remember I purchased an item that lets me it helps me identify these things, so I figured I can get a look at them.
Okay, then.
Take the unidentified cloak and other item I forgot.
All right. And just during the trip, you're going to identify them?
Yeah, I think I can only do it once per day, right?
Okay.
Is that how?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Yeah. If it recharges at dawn, then yeah. Unless it says otherwise, once a day. Which one are you going to identify first?
I guess I'll do the cloak.
Okay.
Goggles. He'll put on his goggles and into.
All right. Noted. All right. And I'll say, Zephyr, for the convenience of giving the items back to your brother, do you want to sit in the back with Neon? Just for flavor.
It's hard. He'll be in the very back. He'll be I guess with Gil, but
yeah, Gil and Caro. Oh, and Lucian. Lucian sitting in the back this time. So.
Oh, she's in the backpack. I thought.
Yeah. It's Caleb in front, Neon in the back seat, and then currently Lucian, Gil, Caro, and yeah.
So I'll fully admit the whole reasoning.
I fucking knew you were going to say that.
My whole reason was I picked the backpack because Lucian.
Say that.
I thought Lucian.
You were so mean.
I thought Lucian was in the back. So
Yeah.
That's the reason why he was helping him.
No. He's just like it's choosing his seating based on where he doesn't have to sit next to Lucian.
You're so mean to me.
It's such a meaner.
All right, so you're gonna attune to the goggles. Bear in mind the effects that has, which you have noted, and you will attempt to identify the cloak during this leg of the trip. All right, and Neon, just for fun, what kind of music are you planning to put on?
The exact same song he was listening to. And Neon starts singing along, like full volume, like
I was gonna say, Better the Sandstorm. Is that how you say it?
God.
Alright.
I remember Jacob used to hate that song.
I'm not a huge fan of it anymore. It kind of wore out its welcome after a while.
Valid. Okay. All right. So, seating is Caleb riding shotgun, Neon and Zephyr in the back seat, and Lucian, Gil, and Caro with Garrow in the cargo. As Barry turns to you, Caleb, and all right, little dude. You guys went that way. I'm assuming that means it's safe.
As far as I'm aware.
All right. Play me a tune, Officer Neon. And with that, he powers up the engine and starts to make a turn right to go down the tunnel. As Neon, you crack on the song he had been listening to previously and just start singing along. The drive itself is uneventful. I'll say Zephyr, like, because you had like time, so I'll say you could attune to it and just quickly identify it. By the time the truck is about to stop, you will have attuned and identified the cloak Caleb given you is a cloak of the Manta Ray.
We can do. Looks cool.
Yeah, so yeah, this is a Cloak of the Manta Ray.
Okay.
And with that, the truck at occasional direction from you, Neon, goes around the bottomless pit staircase, through the cavern of spiders, who all rapidly scurry out of the way of the headlights, through the busted down church. And since I believe this is one of the first crossroads that doesn't have an obvious way, Barry turns to you again, Neon, and just like, right or left from here, little man?
Right or left from here?
You would know the right goes to where the previous caravan got busted. Left is into the cavern with Orichalcum.
No way to...
Yeah, but you would know that to the right, there's just an impassable rock slide.
Yeah, so I guess left then.
Sure thing. And with that, turns to head through the left. And you all find yourself back in the massive tunnel that is a poisoned ground of Orichalcum. However, there is no signs of life this time. It appears the Deep Ones have taken the opportunity to clear house. And you are not bothered as Barry kind of forces the truck, jittering all of you wildly up the set of stairs, which thankfully are smooth enough to where it doesn't like full on destroy the truck to do so. And kind of stopping to make sure that he's cozy, begins to head down the tunnel towards the tunnel that you all know ends in an airlock. And as he's doing this, Barry, and as he's heading this way, Barry kind of like still muttering to himself, seems kind of deep in thought, and kind of pipes up, seeming kind of distracted, but tilts his head towards you in the back, Neon, since you've been talking with him the most. All right, Mother knows that you guys did your job, so as long as you're not planning to go back and assassinate her or some crazy shit like that, you're free to go. But once we get into Ergos, I'm planning to make a delivery to the president, and I can't exactly have you guys playing tag along. It gives me kind of a bad look if I'm traveling with a rough-looking crew like you. And he looks to Caleb, who's just kind of sitting innocently in the front seat.
Fair enough.
What are you saying? I'm sorry. What are you saying about Caleb was distracted by something?
Basically, he was like cracking a joke that like basically you guys will have to separate once you get into Ergos because Barry's making a delivery to the president and he doesn't want he doesn't want a bad look of, hey, I'm here to trade with you. Here's a bunch of heavily armed psychotic mercenaries. But then he looks at you because you look innocent. Yeah. And then he looks around at all of you, and you all can hear this in the very back as well. And I'm going to need someone's help getting the airlock open.
I look at Gil. I don't say anything. I just look at him.
Yes, we can open this. Yes.
All right, big guy. And the music's still playing as he doesn't shut the car off. Once you guys pull into the tunnel, he kicks his door open and helps you down from the back, Gil, and you both approach the airlock as Barry rubs his hands together.
As Gil goes by, I'm going to touch him and cast guidance.
All right. You cast guidance on Gil.
I do not touch your ass! No!
And Gil, as you as Barry approach the valve, Barry turns to look at you, Neon. Hey, I don't know if you're tall enough to reach the pedals, but just if you think you can, be ready to move once this thing opens. It's not a big hurry; it would just make things a lot easier.
Am I tall enough?
I think the tallest one here is Kayla.
Yeah. Yeah, Neon, I will say your mech is built for you. This truck is not. You do not think you could comfortably hit the pedals and mess with the wheel. And even if you could, you definitely couldn't see where you were going.
Someone else do it.
Yeah,
Caleb's the only one who could. I was like, I'm even smaller. And I don't know cars.
All right, Caleb, you kind of scooch over into the driver's seat, and you see Barry kind of look a little nervous and look over Caleb to you, Neon. Make sure all he has to do is just go in a straight line and not crash into the door. He gives you kind of
I should roll for this.
Yeah, I'll let you roll with advantage though if Neon chooses to help you, since Neon knows how to pilot things. There's not big enough to pilot this.
Yeah, I'll just like keep my hand on the wheel just in case.
So yeah,
So I'm going for the lulls. I'm going to do it on D&D Beyond.
yeah, and I'll call this an intelligence check with advantage because Neon's helping you.
All right, D&D Beyond. Impart your wisdom. Do I just do like the intelligence saving throw?
Not the saving throw. Click the
What do I click on D&D Beyond?
Just the intelligence. There should be a box on the intelligence.
Yeah. Like just where your stats are listed, just hit the intelligence box.
D for roll.
That's a 12.
All right, not great.
That's a 5.
All right, noted. All right.
Good old D&D Beyond creating comedy for us.
Gil, as you and Barry approach opposite sides of the valve, he gives you the signal, and you push down as hard as you can, and he pushes up, and the valve begins to spin and rattle, and all of you, even those in the truck, can hear this very loud hissing sound as if something was decompressing, and the door swings open at Barry and Gil pulling, and you all see another tunnel ending in another matching door. And Barry nods to you, Gil. All right, second verse, same as the first. And then he nods to Caleb and Neon in the truck. All right, guys, just take it slow. And Neon, Caleb is approaching this very much akin to a teenager being forced to drive for the first time, but imagine the extra anxiety of not having any idea what a car is. So
Speed.
You have to kind of correct Caleb a couple times as he actually instinctively reverses at first and then floors it while the thing is still in park. But you are eventually able. Those of you in the back are practically tasting exhaust by the time Neon corrals Caleb into just easing forward in a straight line.
Hey, I'm back.
So in today's episode, Caleb learns how to drive.
Yeah, Caleb learns how to drive. All right, yep, I'm noting it down. That's the episode title.
Caleb's driver's ed.
And as you all pull with truck and cargo in tow into this new tunnel, Barry nods to you, Gil, and you give another. And as this door is cranking open, the door behind all of you automatically shuts and reseals. As Gil and Barry are getting the next door open, you all kind of glance around. You find yourself in a tunnel, again, with that same very well-made, smooth stonework. However, this one is odd. While the stone is still clearly carved and smooth, it looks a bit as if it's been eroded slightly. Like, it looks like, stonework brick, but it has that kind of rough-hewn texture as if water had been running over it for a while. Like that kind of wall texture where if you were to fall and scrape your arm on it, it would, like, tear into it. That kind of serrated wall paint kind of has that texture to it. All of you who can read Elvish see written lining the walls decontamination in Elvish.
I don't recognize this term either.
Yeah, no. Although you know what contamination means, so you can kind of extrapolate what it might mean, but you've definitely never heard it used in that way.
With something?
Relax. It's just making sure that we don't bring any gross crap from the Underdark into Ergos. You won't even feel it. And with that, him and Gil heave on the following door. And sure enough, as the next door hisses and it begins to open, Barry kind of happily steps back, and Gil, you kind of step back as well, as all of you in the truck kind of peek as daylight fills the cavern. Very recognizably sunlight.
Oh, thank God.
Why since I've seen that?
Zephyr kind of looks at this as
this is where Neon doesn't know what daylight is.
I
And
know what daylight has.
as the next airlock is opened, Barry kind of hops into the truck and kind of pushes you out of the driver's seat, like, "Thanks for not crashing it, kid." And as Gil hops back into the back,
is just laughing nervously, like a kid who just drove for the first time.
Barry kind of smiles and pats you on the shoulder, seeming sympathetic and grateful that you didn't crash his baby. And he turns over.
He might have taken some miles off the transmission though, with that accelerating in park.
Yeah, definitely. But Barry throws an arm over the driver's seat to lounge and look at all of you as the truck slowly putters past the next airlock into this. Again, like your eyes are still adjusting to seeing daylight, and he gives you all a very wide smile and says, "And while I may not be exactly a local, let me be the first to say, welcome to Ergos." And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
I knew you were gonna fucking do that.
I saw it was 12:22, and I was like, "We're getting pretty close to 12:30, so he's probably going to be ending it as soon as he gets to a stopping point."
I knew that the best.
I'm sorry for getting distracted today. I got distracted by.
Oh, biggest bitch you be. Come on, let's get to the city. Let's see another city.
I had to spend like 4 sessions in a dungeon, maybe.
Maybe.
Our characters haven't seen daylight in a while.
Yeah, that is true. It has been weeks since a lot of you have seen daylight.
I'm sorry about getting distracted.
Lucian's like, yeah.
Yeah. You're good for the record, but we can cover it in more detail after. For now, so the party has completed their errand for the mother, man. As far as the mother is concerned, unless you go back to enact revenge, you're off the hook. And if she keeps her word, Raccoon will be set free. And as you all proceed deeper into the Underdark, Barry takes you through the airlock, and from the looks of it, you're about to enter the Ergos Republic for the first time in pretty much any of your lives. And despite being miles and miles underground, you're seeing daylight. That the idea of being back in the sun for some of you, and the idea of being back in the city for others, is something of a relief. And Neon, you feel some slight trepidation as you have not ventured outside of Edict in a very long time. Yeah. So as your eyes slowly adjust to the daylight and ready to take in the Ergos Republic, with Barry acting as your very brief tour guide before heading off to make his own personal delivery, that is where we're going to end off tonight. I totally had the outro stuff pulled up. Don't get me wrong, we've only done this 50 times.
Almost 50.
Have you done an intro for every episode?
No.
No, but it's still more a thing of I should know better. All right, check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Check the link that's about to be posted in chat if you want to join our official D5 Discord server and hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts at. Check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/killer5. That's 5 with a PH. The two rogues are playing
on my YouTube channel where I upload edited down streams.
Mm-hmm. And if I recall correctly, the channel should have a similar name. So
I just changed it so that it'd be the same. Gotta have that branding.
Yeah, brand recognition, man. But yeah, the two rogues have been playing Terraria together. It's good stuff.
We also, I don't know the going through it all.
Yeah, to be fair, while this is being recorded, you streamed Terraria this morning. So,
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes Friday.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you. Thanks all of you at home so much for watching. Thanks all of you so much for playing. And we'll see you all next week as we enter the Ergos Republic.